drive at night because I'm graveyard shift, so I just got off work. But when I'm driving at night, for some reason, I'm scared of dinosaurs coming out of the trees, like that it was ever an issue for me to worry about. Oof. I don't know, I just feel like the trees look so tall, and big things are scary. They're just big lizards. But anyways, one of you guys asked me, how do you keep wanting to quit Ed, basically? And I think it's like a weird battle we have to have internally, at least for a while, and win almost every time. You know what I mean? Like, this is because what I pictured is with Ed, I was constantly I'd take one step forward just to take 3 back. And it was never gonna get me anywhere. I was always gonna, in fact, I was going backwards because I was getting really unhealthy, and all this like physical consequences were gonna come from it. So that's what made me realize like there's no point in trying to cope with things with this, you know, with Ed. He was not there for my own good. It wasn't something that was gonna get me anywhere. It was just this never-ending circle of bullshit. Like, it was like a hamster wheel, if that makes sense. And I was trying so hard, running so fast for what? So I could just fall and roll in there and then do it again all over every time? No. That's when I was like, yep, I'm not gonna do that. I can't do that. And then slowly when I would try it, I would go in a way of like rebelling against him. I would picture what he would make me think, and picture somebody I didn't like and did not respect, and they just got on my nerves, and I would make them be him. And I'm like, ew. Imagine following the rules of somebody that like you don't respect, and why are they ordering you? So that's how I kind of looked at it, and I still try to imagine that, because Ed is not your friend. You know, like, you think it is. As soon as you do this stuff, he will accept you. And all that, but it's just never going to work. It's never going to be enough. If that makes sense. Never. And, you know, when you're working against yourself, it's always going to be a lose situation, because when you're sick like that, if you're in that mindset of Ed, you're not really thinking straight. You're letting this bullshit demon think for you. And your physical body is trying so hard to keep you alive and to try to undo all the damage that, you know, it's being caused. It's like this pulling from each other. And, you know, we got to the point where we were, like, a lot of us, I mean, even just thinking about this way, it's like, you did all that, so the discipline is there. Let's just say that should be worked with you. If you work with yourself instead of against yourself, imagine what can be accomplished. If we could just stop being our own enemy, we could probably take on the world. And or just do whatever you want to do. What do you want in life? Do you really want just to be less of what everybody has already tried to make you feel? Like, do we really want to confirm what everybody else has said or made us feel? Or do we want them to swallow their words and be surprised and never again underestimate you, you know? One of those choices is so much more exciting than the other, because I'm so done throwing pity parties for myself where people don't give a shit about me. Like, I'll throw a pity party somewhere where people care. Venting feels good. It gets your emotions out. It lets you release all that held anger or sadness, you know. There's a purpose for it. But do not waste your tears where people will, like, smile at it. You know what I mean? It's pointless. Basically. That is why you guys can talk about, you know, SBS here, but I would not recommend you talking to somebody that would just make fun of you. does not take you seriously. You know, family can be a very hard thing to deal with, especially when they don't believe in your mental health or anybody's in general, just because theirs was never considered. It's like, the thing is, when people, dude, the birds are crazy, they're dumb. The thing is, when people don't care about others' mental health or mental health in general, it means they were in survival mode their whole life. It means they were never considered in the first place. They were forgotten a long time ago. And now they make it a tradition to forget about everybody else. And you could either be one of two people. Either you become the bully that bullied you and make everybody miserable, or you become the bully that bullies the one that bullied you. I'm just kidding. You become the person that prevents anybody else being affected the way you were negatively. You know what I mean? And, or, you know, you could do a little mixture and bully the bully. So, yeah, I just feel like Ed is this weird enemy that is not working with us. The faster we understand that he's scamming us out of our life, out of what we could enjoy and see things differently, the sooner we'll snap out of it and try to pick ourselves for once, you know? So for me, I kind of used Ed as like a form of punishment to feel less bad about who I was, and being a people pleaser just did not help, because if I like failed somebody in my mind, it felt like I did not deserve something as simple as food. But I'm just so over it, you know? Like, there's no such thing as being selfish just because I want to eat and I want to pick myself over pretty much anything, because it's like I've been trying to be what nobody was for me for a long time, and maybe you guys have done the same thing, and it's overrated. It's done for. It never gets you anywhere. In fact, it gets you used up and you feel like shit. So it's like, when will you pick yourself? You know what I mean? If it's not now, when will it be? And why not? Ed is not a real person. He's not going to be thankful for your efforts. So why not please yourself? You are a real person. And that's just what I think about. And your family doesn't understand or see that you have, you know, this situation, or you don't want to tell them because you know they won't understand it. They don't need to know that, especially if you're an adult, okay? Like, adult Ed is kind of like complicated in a way where it's like, you don't have to count on your parents to get better. Or it's not expected, but it would very, very much make a difference. But it's okay, because once you become your own friend, it's almost like there's no way you can fail at becoming who you want to be instead of tearing yourself apart. I hope that makes sense. And I don't want to be super cheesy, you know, it's super cringy, but it's something you have to come to terms with by yourself. Like, you have to find a way or reasons to finally like stop hating yourself or trying to appreciate yourself more. Find something you like about yourself, emotionally, mentally, physically, and write it down in the comments, you know, like, why not share it with us? There has to be something. And if not, what would you like about yourself? When was a point that you were like, damn, that I really just did that, and you felt proud of yourself? Imagine if you could have more moments like those, you know what I mean? Like, to the point where you're like, oh my god, I can't wait to tell people what I just did, or what I just said, or what I just wrote, or whatever, what I made. Because we're wasting so much time hating ourselves and tearing ourselves down and letting this weird like voice tell us what not to do, when we could instead do so many things we want to, and things that nobody else believed we could. But the most important thing is, deep down inside, we know we can do very good if we just unite with ourselves and stop fighting each other. Because it's like, it's mentally and physically fighting each other. But if we just united, dude, we could do so much. It would be crazy. We could build a village and all move there, and we could have like our own little village there. Wouldn't that be nice? I just think about that sometimes, but that's just me. You guys want to build a cult? Like, wouldn't that be fun? Do you want to be part of my cult? Free coffee. That's one of the rules. It's mandatory. Free Dunkin' for everybody, and you should have some every day before you go into work and after, so you can poop, because I am constipated. It's a land of the constipated. TMI. But yeah, let me know. I dare you to write something you like about yourself. Okay? And if you can't, then you're lying. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, I'm gaslighting you now. I dare you to write something you liked about yourself, or you did that you were proud of, and just writing that down. Remember, you could have more moments like those if we just stop focusing on hating ourselves. There's enough people that can hate us in this world. Why are we adding to that? And ours is the biggest, like, one to deal with, if that makes sense. As soon as we stop the self-hate, life is gonna get so much interesting, you know, so much more interesting and fun. I've been trying to stop hating myself too, so I am also working on this. And yeah, if you cannot answer that question, you could answer, what would you want to be proud of? You know what I mean? What would you want to be happy about? And maybe that could be your New Year's resolution, or, you know, something you could strive to do every time Ed is trying to control you. You could think, but I could make myself proud. You know what I mean? It feels so much better. Making yourself proud, it's just something that feels good. Like for me, my example of what I'm proud of, or what I'm happy about in myself, is that I'm very confrontational. I'm very quiet, but I'm very confrontational, and I really like that about myself, because I like to fight. Like, not physically, but if I could, I would definitely be proud of that too. So let me know. No, I'm just kidding. I do not condone violence unless it is completely necessary, which, if you're part of my cult now, I think it's always necessary, and I will defend you in court. I'm just kidding. Could you imagine? I'm like, I will defend you in court. I'm like swearing on the Bible or whatever the hell they swear on. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time, and let me know what you guys, what keeps you guys going to recovery. I probably missed a bunch of points, but that's just, I don't want to talk for too long. And please write down what would make you proud about yourself, or when was that time you were very proud of yourself. Okay? Bye.